Activist judges blocking President Trump's agenda will not prevail. It's time to take a step back, chill out a bit. I know a lot of people on social media, a lot of patriots, a lot of conservatives have been up in arms. You've been scared, worried, angry, and rightly so to an extent. But the real question that I think a lot of people are asking is if some judge in Rhode Island can suddenly hold the president of the United States and his agenda hostage, why has this not happened before? And the answer to that question is because it can't. I think it was Congressman Darrell Issa who had said something to the effect of the Constitution does not allow local judges to take control of the United States of America, which seems to be what's happening. And we're seeing a slew of these judgments, these decisions, I should say, coming through. Injunction here, restraining order there. It's like, my gosh, what is happening? And I think a lot of people, especially on the right, are very concerned, but you shouldn't be. This is the process. This is the quote-unquote nuclear option that the uniparty swamp is utilizing against the president and against the people. But it's not going to work. I think it was Hakeem Jeffries who said the other day, sometime over the weekend, he had said that basically we're looking at this, we don't know what to do. We don't know how to fight this. We don't have control of the Congress. We don't have control of the Senate. We don't have control of the White House. What can we really do? And that question was not rhetorical. He doesn't know what to do, but they do. This has been planned the entire time. They've known ever since the election that the uniparty swamp, and I don't want to say it's just the Democrats because it really is the McConnells of the world that are also participating in this. They knew that appealing to the judiciary was their only recourse. Unfortunately for them, they also know, maybe they're hoping against all hope, but they also know that all they can do is delay. Yeah, they used to say about Michael Jordan and a lot of other players, you can't stop him, you can only hope to slow him down. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to slow down the agenda so that they can try to figure out how to salvage whatever they can, maybe buy them some time to get their names pulled out before all of their corruption is exposed. And then they are exposed. But don't listen to me. Attorney Kurt Schlichter, smart dude, wicked smart dude. He posted on X basically saying the same thing, and I'm glad that he did because I've been trying to figure out all day. I've been trying to figure out, and since yesterday actually, how do I know what's happening. I know that this is going to work its way through the courts. I know that we're going to prevail in the end, but what's the better way to put it? And thankfully, he did put it a better way. Here we go. So, and this is what he posted on X. Here's a long take on the court injunction crisis, which is less crisis than an opportunity. I like his thinking already. Okay, stop panicking about all the stupid legal decisions from leftist judges that the left is getting from judge shopping in leftist jurisdictions. Stop panicking. First, no one should be surprised by any of this. The administration certainly is not. We always knew exactly what they would do. Do not take the fact that they are not screaming and yelling as them rolling over. They're not rolling over at all. There's plenty going on behind the scenes as administration lawyers prepare their papers for the legal fight to come. Second, since we have to have this fight, this is the time and the battleground to have it. Why? We want it settled right at the beginning of the administration so we don't have to deal with this down the road. And we want to fight on these orders because, number one, they are manifestly the result of bad faith judge shopping, and the opinions themselves are both procedural, and number two, they are substantively ridiculous. They are legal jokes. And again, I have to remind you that Kurt Schlichter is an attorney. Don't listen to the dummy lawyers on Twitter. Only listen to me or the people I tell you can rely on. He also tends to have sort of an ego. Nothing against that. Everyone telling you they are reasoned, valid legal decisions is either a legal illiterate or thinks you are stupid. Or maybe they're stupid. He forgot that possibility. Third, the way this fight is happening is to our advantage. Wait, you ask. We're getting decision after decision against us. How can that be good? The reason, dear friends, is because they are leaving the Supreme Court no choice. People want Trump to sound off about this, but he doesn't need to. As a matter of fact, he shouldn't. What's left unstated is the fact that he cannot, or he can just not obey these manifestly improper orders. Joe Biden did it. Barack Obama did it. They say it's a constitutional crisis now, but that becomes a real one when they push Trump too far. He's not going to submit forever to micromanagement of the executive branch by activist district court judges in blue cities across America, and Chief Justice Roberts knows this. Roberts and a majority of the court know these are ridiculous legally, and the last thing they want to do is stake the credibility of the court, which famously has no divisions, on this kind of nonsense. They are not going to jump on the grenade that is these decisions. There might someday be a fight with the president about something where he is legally in the wrong, but this is not that time. This is not the hill the Supreme Court will die on. Wisely, Trump not adding fuel to the fire by threatening to do what it's very clear he can do, which is to disobey. This provides SCOTUS the cover it needs to deal with these upstart district courts without looking like Trump strong-armed it. And I don't think they care about that, by the way, just to be clear. Justice Roberts might, but I don't think anybody else actually cares. Nobody on the judiciary is feeling like, oh, we gotta be independent from Trump. They've demonstrated that already. All three of the judges that he appointed, the justices that he appointed, rather, they have all, at one point or another, ruled against him. So their credibility is intact. Chief Justice is the only one who doesn't want to seem like he's pandering to Trump. But hey, I think he's going to stay. I think he's going to line up with us. I think he's going to line up with Trump. I think he's going to line up with the Constitution. But even if he doesn't, it's still 5-4. So I am confident even in the milquetoast justices, the Coney Barrett and Gorsuch and Kavanaugh. I'm confident that they will see the idiocy, the purely political attacks that are happening within the judiciary itself, and they will rule accordingly. And of course, our boys, Alito and Thomas, they will side with the Constitution as they always do. Schlichter ends it by saying, so relax and let the process go forward. We're going to win on all of these injunctions, and I expect fairly quickly. And I do agree with almost all of it. There's a little bit of difference there, but in spirit, we are wholeheartedly and vigorously in agreement. The part that I would say I disagree with, or one of the parts, is when he says relax. Don't relax, okay? Don't relax. It's okay to not fear or to be angry or to be frustrated. I don't want you to be those things, but don't relax. Don't sit back. We have two things that are happening right now that need to be done, technically three. Number one, we need to let our uniparty swampsters know, the ones that are supposedly representing us in Congress and Senate, we need to let them know that we voted for the Trump agenda, that we like what's happening with the Trump agenda, and they need to stand down. Now, will they do so? Probably not. Okay, that's just not in their DNA. But if we get enough people to do it, they might. I mean, we've seen crazier things happen. Even recently, we've seen people stand down based upon reactions from the people. So we, the people, need to react. We need to let them know they are in the wrong. They know they're in the wrong, by the way. They just feel justified because anything to stop Orange Man, anything to stop billionaire Asperger's guy, they're going to do that. That's just what they're going to try to do. Number two, and this is an extremely important one. Right now, we need to use our knowledge, our brains, our influence to educate the people around us. Legacy media, even local. I was going through. As editor of thelibertydaily.com and discernreport.com and americafirstreport.com, I have to watch a lot of videos from local news channels. I have every city in America. I've got at least one or two from there, and I'm subscribed to them. I watch the stories that are interesting, and I've noticed that this isn't just CNN and MSNBC. It's not just New York Times and Washington Post that we have to worry about. The local news channels are going after the DOGE moves, I guess you can call them. They're going after them hard. They are doing everything they can to paint this as negative, and they're doing it at a local level, and they're doing so in a way that will influence people. Because even though I think that, yeah, even the people that watch CNN or MSNBC, they know that they're biased. They know that they're, of course, going to be against anything that Trump says. But I think there's still this certain belief that local media is above it all, that local media will report. And if local media is saying, oh, these DOGE attacks, they're bad for San Diego, or they're bad for Philadelphia, or they're bad for whatever, then that must be accurate because this is coming from local media. It's not coming from CNN or anybody like that. So we need to be out there educating people that this is about corruption. And when they start asking questions like, well, but I thought that it's taken this way, it's taken that way. It is. And I think we have to be honest. We have to acknowledge there are going to be things, whatever. There's going to be collateral damage. There really will be. I think we should be honest. Some of you will disagree. Some of you will say, don't even mention any of that stuff. We're debunk it all. I think that's the standard operating procedure right now. For most on the right, we're just like, oh, don't worry about that. That's not true. That's not happening. It is happening. There's going to be certain, whatever. Oh my gosh, look at this, thing that happened. I don't even know examples right now. But those will come out, and some of them, not most of them, very few of them actually, but some of them will be legitimate. We have to acknowledge that. Because if we say that this is 100% foolproof and cutting all these programs will only benefit Americans and there will be zero repercussions and nobody will get hurt, that's not true. So I think we need to acknowledge that, number one, there will be certain things that probably shouldn't be defunded that do get defunded as a result of this. But the overall benefits will greatly, exponentially outweigh any of the damage that's done. For every one minor little dinky program that slips through the cracks and probably needs to be reinstated, there will be hundreds, if not thousands, of dinky little programs that should never have been launched in the first place. And there will be many, many, many large programs, large agencies, even possibly departments, education, that will be collapsed as a result of this. And these are good things. Americans, if you have somebody who's just adamantly opposed, just ask them, do you trust government? And they'll say, all of them will say, absolutely not. Then why do you want more of it? We don't need all of these safety nets. These safety nets are used to help the people that created them, not the recipients of these supposed safety nets. Okay? The people that benefit from, for example, USAID are not the people that are allegedly getting the charities. You never hear anything about those people. All you hear about is that, we built this or we built that or we're influencing media here or whatever. It's because it's a CIA front. Now, you might not be able to go to every one of your friends or family and saying, hey, it's a tentacle of the deep state, because they probably, if they're normies, they probably don't even believe in the deep state. But figure out what you can say to them. Educate them. We need people to understand that this is not a bad thing. Because the more people that understand that it's not a bad thing, there will be repercussions from that acceptance, that acknowledgement, that will influence media and it will influence uniparty swamp members. If they think that they can't get away with it, that the people just aren't stupid enough anymore to fall in line with their machinations, they will abandon ship. Self-preservation is the highest form of political expediency. Okay, if they say, "Wow, it really is going to collapse," I'm going to collapse with it unless I step back and fight against it. I need to say, "Wow, I've as a result of these things, Trump's bad and Elon Musk is bad, but I did learn as a result of this one report that I was able to put together with my team that in this particular case they were right, and that's why I am pulling back and not getting involved with this, and I'm going to oppose this waste. I'm so against the waste that's been lining my pockets for decades." But that's what's going to happen, and for that to happen, we need to educate as many people as possible. Third, and definitely not least, we must pray. I know not everybody out there is a Bible-believing Christian, but if you are, now's the time to pray. Pray that God's will is done. No matter what it is, even if it's bad, we pray for God's will. We pray, and not that he needs us to pray for him, but we do pray that his will be done in earth as it is in heaven, as the old prayer goes. Don't sweat it. Don't get all up in arms about this stuff. It's looking bad. And they're going to have, they being the uniparty swamp, the deep state, the propaganda industrial complex, also known as legacy media, the globalist elite cabal. They're having these wins, but the ones that are actually up there, the ones that know what's happening, they realize that this really is just delaying the inevitable. They're hoping for something to happen, something that will save their evil agenda. Whether that happens, I don't know. But I know that the momentum is on our side. The agenda itself is on our side. And most importantly, the truth is on our side. Or perhaps better stated, we are on the side of truth. You can not only find my work, but also my amazing sponsors by going to jdrucker.com/find, jdrucker.com/find. Scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see a list of people that support this show, that make this show possible. And you can get coffee or beef or crypto or whatever, and it will help to benefit this show, help to keep us on the air.